doubletrial.com/talkitout. Sign up for a free 30-day trial where you get access to over 1,800 different audiobooks and you get one free audiobook download. Sign up now.
That didn't sound exciting.
Sign up now. Sign up now. Sign up now.
I like the sign up now.
Sign up now.
So this is KT,
Joy,
Gabby,
and Tuesday.
Tuesday's here.
So today's episode is going to be about relationships, like platonic relationships and romantic relationships, and how we feel about all types of different relationships and what we're doing with ours. So to start it off, I want to start it with family, because family is really important to all of us, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
And so my first question is blood thicker than water?
depends on the family. That's so weird to say, but it is. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
What does blood thicker than water mean for those of us that are not familiar?
To me, that kind of means that family is going to be better than your friends in the long run.
Why do they compare that to water? Why is it water?
I don't know. Maybe like water isn't.
I thought his blood was thicker than mud.
No, it's thicker than water.
I've heard mud too before.
But I've never heard mud.
Blood's thicker than mud.
I've heard mud.
I think that, like Joy said, that it's basically dependent on the family. Some people in our family that I wouldn't trust anything with, but I will with my friends.
And why? Like, why do you trust? So only some family members are thicker than water?
Yeah.
I mean, my mom, I would tell anything to her, but my aunt, no.
Yeah, and for me, it's the opposite. Like, I'll do anything for my family, but, and my friends, I think personally, because I think friends become family, but when it comes down to it, if I have to choose between my family and somebody else, then I'm going to choose the person who I'm most loyal to, which will mostly be my family. It depends on who it is, but mostly my family.
So to Tuesday, you said you tell anything to your mom. So is it okay to disown your parents if they are being not thicker than water? Is it okay to disown your parents if you're in an unhealthy relationship with them?
I don't know.
It really depends on how the relationship is. If it's really abusive and your life would be better without them, yeah, go ahead. But with me and my mom, she's supportive of everything, and I don't have to worry about that.
What about you, Gabby? You haven't really said much.
Nothing.
Because I was letting y'all talk. But if I obviously don't have this type of relationship with my parents, but if it came to the point where my parents were just being abusive and manipulative and just becoming terrible people and bringing harm to me, then sometimes you just got to cut people off, even if they are your parents. Because, okay, you stay and you tolerate your parents, but that's causing stress on you, and that's hurting your mental health, and they may cause you to live a shorter life because you're just trying to do what society tells you should be doing, when in fact you could be living a more productive life if you just kind of cut them off. Sometimes you just got to cut them off altogether. But if you're in that situation and that's what you need to do, I think you should do it.
So you talked about like manipulation, like what to you is the difference between being mentally abusive or physically abusive and being manipulated by them compared to a healthy relationship?
I'll pass the question on to Joy. What is your definition of a healthy relationship?
I I think my whole relationships are mostly based on loyalty. If I'm there for you, you there for me. It's a give and exchange relationship, and I just feel like some people if people are taking advantage of you, I hate to be taken advantage of. So that's just my number 2 pet peeve. Like, don't take advantage of me and don't disrespect me. That's number 1. Don't disrespect me. And I feel like if you're doing those things, then you're not a very good friend or very good romantic partner. So for me, that would have to be a person who's loyal to you and respects you. That's all I really ask for.
What do you think, KT?
To me, a healthy relationship is one that you can talk to that person and they respect you and how you feel, and you respect them and how they feel, and you don't down them or hurt them or anything like that when it comes to mental and physical. Manipulative relationships, to me, is where that person is, because there's types of manipulation, and but to me, like, the most one that I have experienced myself is where that person, you guys are in an argument and it's a very heated discussion and you're going back and forth, and then at first they're like, okay, well, I understand where you're coming from and I can kind of relate to you, and then by the end of the thing it's like, no, sorry, you're the one that's actually doing all the wrong thing and this is the reason why I am the way I am. And so, like, I don't think that's healthy at all. And I completely think it's okay to disown parents, especially if they treat you like you're someone else, like you don't even belong to them, or treat them like they're, if you're beating them or whooping them, or if you have disrespected how they feel and how they react to certain things. And I just think that at the end of the day, it's like, you don't need, like Gabby was saying, you don't need them type of people in your life, whether they're your parents or not. Like, it doesn't matter. You don't need that in your life. You don't need that stress. Like, the world has enough stress.
Yeah.
I don't need to have my parents as well treating me like awful.
Yeah.
If I have everyone else treating me awful. Your family is supposed to be there and love you and guide you and respect you, but they can't. Your parents can't expect respect if they've never respected you to begin with.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
You're so much stronger than me, because my relationship with my dad is not good, and I have yet to cut him off like I probably should. And it could be because he has my brother and I love him or whatever. But it's mostly just because I just haven't wanted to do that yet. And I probably should. I probably need to. But he's my dad and he's my family. And I strongly believe that. I believe, like, if we ever really needed each other, hey, I need you to do this. Please, like I'm going to be in some serious poo-poo if this doesn't happen. I think we'll be there for each other then. Like, when he was in the hospital, I went every day. But as far as every day-to-day relationships with him, it's not where it should be.
Right.
As long as when we ignore the facts in the room and the big pink polka dotted elephant, it is. But
To me, you're right. Like, that is something very strong that people don't really talk about. Like, it's okay to disown your parents. Like, for me, I have kind of disowned one of my parents and not spoken to them in a very, very, very long time. And they are, they do have my sisters as well. I have 4 little sisters that they are around that I don't hardly ever get to see or talk to or spend time with because of that situation. But in the long run, I think it has made me feel so much better. Obviously, she is, like, that is my parent, but at the same time, it's like, mentally, I feel amazing because previously it was just like dragging me down all the time. I constantly had to worry about it. And like Gabby again was saying, like, you shouldn't have to do that. But that brings me kind of to the next question. Is it okay to cut that B off, even if y'all have been friends, family, or whatever for a very long time.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I've cut everybody that needed to be cut out of my life out except for my dad.
Uh-huh.
Like, I give no other chances.
Hey, so Tuesday, what about you? Because you haven't really said anything about the parents other than
At
what
all.
you said. So go ahead.
So, I had this friend, and we were talking for a while. We were like best friends.
Mm-hmm.
And she would find ways not to talk to me. She even lied about her mother dying. Then she would text me during her mother's funeral. And
What?
she would just lie about everything. She lied about not being with her boyfriend whenever she would always send pictures of her and them together. It was just too much. And I was like, bye. And then I also had another friend that I was friends with since 7th grade that I just recently cut off because all she ever talked about is what she was going to do with another guy when she left from my house, or just drama, basically.
Yeah.
That's all it was. And I was like, nope, can't do this anymore.
You gotta do it. And yeah, I've had to do that in the past couple of years. And I don't know.
How does that make you feel? Because you're kind of like,
Right, because I'm giving people a
How does it
gazillion
make you
chances
feel?
because I feel like, well, maybe they'll change or whatever, and you got to show them grace and you got to have patience.
for 6 years.
But eventually it comes to the point, hopefully you get to this point where it's just like enough is enough. And I had to come to that point with certain people, and after they had screwed me over a gazillion times, after that a gazillion and 1th time, you just like, I just gotta do this. And then you feel when you're about to do it, you're like, oh, you feel so bad, but then after you do it, it's just like peace.
Right.
And just like
It really
I
is.
should have been done this.
You should have.
So
But I don't know.
yeah.
So, I mean, that kind of brings it to, like, back to the mentally abusive or physically abusive thing. Like, what about the people who are, like, the women and the men who are stuck in these relationships, and people, like, shame them. They're like, well, why don't they just break up with them if they're beating them? Or why don't they just do this if they're the worst person they ever been with, or whatever? Like, it's not always that easy, and I don't think a lot of people really understand that it's not always that easy, especially when you think that that's love, or you feel like that's love, and that's the only thing you've known. Like,
And here's the thing, like they shame those people, but then they'll shame you, and they're like, how dare you leave your mom?
how dare you leave your mom?
And it's the
Right.
same. It's the same situation when a lot of times as children or just growing up with family, you deal with people that are toxic to you, but because of, like I said, society standards, you're trained and taught to stay with them. So when you get into a relationship, you might end up bringing
go
those
and bring
same
the same
mentalities
people.
into that
Right.
relationship, and so it's just the same thing.
And that completely happened to me, like 100%. Like my mom, like you're saying, like she was really, really toxic to me. And then I got into a relationship with men who were toxic like she was, never feeling like I was good enough, never feeling like I was going to live up to these standards, or, just being, and not being beat because they didn't beat me, but I mean, just being shamed constantly and just not feeling like I was okay.
Emotionally abused.
Right, yeah, just emotionally being pushed down. And it was just like, you're completely correct. It's like a vicious cycle.
It's a
and
cycle,
if you don't get out of it, then you just never do. And you're just constantly in that, just forever and ever and ever.
Right.
And the world wonders why there's so many, like, mental health patients and everything.
Or why the
like that.
suicide rating is so high.
Right.
Yeah.
But this kind of is a good question, because we're talking about other people being toxic to us. But Tuesday, what is one of the worst things, and I want a story, that you did as a friend or a partner?
She demands a story.
I want a story from all of you guys, because this.
Wait, I gotta think about it. Hold on.
I need the worst thing you ever did to someone.
I don't really have a story, but I've always been in like a group of friends, and sometimes a friend would come to me and be like, hey, I have a secret, don't tell anybody else. and then I would go around and tell all the other people
Oh
in the
my
group.
God.
Never tells you any of my secrets again.
If you can tell me, then you can tell everybody else, since we're supposed to be so open and everything with each other.
Nope. I'm never telling you a secret
Negative.
again Tuesday.
No, well, like,
Well, I know not
especially
to now.
if it's like, I had this friend, we're just going to call her B, and she didn't really like the girl named T, but T was in our group, and she would always be talking crap about T, and I'm just like, T, you know she really don't like you.
Right, like in a little, if you guys are in a group message and then they like privately message you.
Yeah.
Oh, I do that all
Always
the
a
time.
thing.
I'll
Me
be
too.
like,
Like,
now you
why
know
did she
she's
say
getting
that
on
in the
my
group
nerves.
message? Did you see what what's her name said? About you, Gabby?
Oh, that was loud. When you said that, the first thing I thought about was in middle school.
Uh-oh.
Oh, we can go that far back?
Yeah, you can go back as far as you need to.
Well, you go, Gabby.
And it's middle school was just terrible. But one of the things that pops up in my head, I had this friend, and we were friends like from elementary all the way up to high school, like talking friends, you know. And we hung out and stuff. And she was on the basketball team, and one of the girls at the school had a party, and they didn't invite her to the party, but she invited like all the other girls to the party. And so when we were driving in the girl who had the party's van going to basketball practice, we were all in the car and we were like, "Oh God, we gotta hide because we don't want her to see us so she can get like embarrassed or whatever." But when we were in the car, they started talking real bad about that girl, like real bad. Like one of the girls was like, "Yeah, the reason I didn't invite her is because she's this, that, and that." And they were like, "Yeah, she's that, and that." And then remember, y'all listen to the self-hate one. I was just a terrible person back then, but I wanted to fit in, and they were like, I know Gabby, I know you're good friends with her, so you don't have to say anything, or you know." And I was like, okay. But then when they would say stuff, I just like be laughing and nod my head like, yeah. And it was just, now I look back at myself, but it was just like, middle school was just, ugh.
Yeah.
I got plenty of little stories.
Okay, I thought about mine, you guys.
Go ahead.
So we can go that far back. It wasn't middle school, but it was high school. And I kind of was like, I don't think I ever really, like in middle school, like Gabby, I didn't fit in at all. All the girls hated me.
I did fit in.
Oh, well, yeah, you made yourself fit in.
I did too. I made myself fit in. I was like, yeah, I'm popular. Look at me sitting with the popular kids.
I'm just
But
like,
see,
don't mess with me.
I didn't fit. I was like the nerd. Like everybody, the girls hated me. The guys really thought I was weird because I wasn't trying to be with them. You know,
Yeah.
I'm like, we're in sixth grade. What do you need a boyfriend for? You're sixth grade. And then I guess because I didn't get a boyfriend in sixth grade, they didn't want anything to do with me, especially since I wasn't about to do none of the stuff.
Right.
You know, keep your stuff to yourself. Anyway, but so in high school, I went to White Station. And for those who don't know, it's a very different environment, or it used to be, a very different environment than the school I ended up at. But I ended up at a school where it was everybody from my middle school. Mm-hmm. And so it was those same people. And I found a group of people who were different, who didn't mind expressing themselves, who were a little loose with the rules, but still, you know, weren't the average people. And Lord, I don't know why, but I just, you know how you hate not saying anything when somebody says something that's wrong or disrespectful?
Oh my God, yes.
Well, this guy, there were a lot of white people or mixed people, or people who really didn't identify as black. And it was just me and one other or two other black girls. And one black girl, she didn't identify herself as black.
What?
I know. But anyway, so she would joke and make jokes about color or whatever. And, you know, some jokes are okay. Some jokes are funny. But then you gets to the sensitive part, and this white guy says something, N-word. And he says, and I'm just looking like, what?
What in the world?
And then this other girl says, "Oh, well, you can't say that." The black girl who didn't identify as black, she says, "Well, you can't say that. You know, Lexus is here." And she said, and he's like, "Oh, Lexus doesn't mind, do you?" we can say N-word, right? Because the N-word doesn't, like, he just kept saying it. And I was like, he's like, you don't mind, do you? And I'm like, no.
You should have said
Trying to fit in yourself.
That was the only, and I felt so bad about it that I didn't say anything
Speak
to
up for
them.
yourself.
Yeah, that I didn't speak up. And ever since then, there has been like you have to say what you want to say, otherwise I felt a tremendous amount of guilt. I went home and cried.
Oh.
Okay, so the worst thing I ever did to a friend is ignore them or cut them off, like, so quickly. Like, if you're my friend, you do one thing wrong, I'm cutting you off. It doesn't matter. Like, at that point, like, you're gone. Like, and my dad, actually, I was talking to him about that one time, and he was like, yeah, as soon as someone does something wrong to you, just never talk to them again. And that's so true. Like, you can literally say, like, you can just be mean one time, and you're gone. Like, that's it. You
Wow.
You don't have to. And that's so petty, I guess.
I hate your shoes. Cut off.
But I do, like, I just cut people off, like, so quick. It doesn't even matter.
Ain't nothing to cut that
Right,
off.
exactly.
Negative.
But that's just me, like, just constantly cutting friends off because I feel like there's a million other people in this world. Why should I have to continue to keep one person in here that isn't even contributing to my existence?
Right.
I want to bring it, because we've been just talking about friends and, like, family. I want to bring it to, like, romantic relationships. Dun, dun, dun. What are 2 things, and you only get 2 things because we ain't got all day. What are 2 things that you're looking for in a partner? And I'm going to start it with you, Tuesday.
Someone who is open to anything, like they would accept me how I am, and they're honest with me.
Bow, bow. That's your 2 things?
Yeah.
Sweet. I can agree with those.
Yeah, those are good. Say, what are 2 things I would look for in an ideal mate? Somebody that is, again, they gotta be knowledgeable about this stuff, like about social justice stuff. This gotta be. They can't be ignorant to that stuff, because it's like I don't have time to teach you sociology 101.
Oh,
true.
We burn.
That's true.
And after that, they just gotta be respectful to me. They gotta respect me.
What
That's
do you
it.
mean by that?
I think because when you have respect, all that other stuff falls in line. If they respect you, they're gonna be honest. If they respect you, they're gonna be faithful, true. They're gonna be kind, loyal, all that stuff. So, respect is important.
That's good. That's a good answer. What about you, Joy?
They have to be, first of all, you have to be a man of God. Secondly, because that's just like first and foremost with me. You can't be like, oh, well, I believe, but I don't really believe in anything. Because for me, if you don't believe in anything, then you're not about anything. That's just for me. And I feel like when I say that, people are like, so you have to believe in God or you're not about. No, I didn't say God. I said you have to believe in something to be about something for me. But I feel like my future mate, that word's so funny to me. He has to be a man of God, obviously. And then secondly, he has to be fun and funny, because I'm a stay-at-home kind of person, and I need somebody who's going to get me out there.
Yeah.
We can go rock climbing. We can go bungee jumping. We can go, yeah.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
Oh, romance.
Sweet.
What about you, Casey?
Oh, I don't really care. Just as long as you like me.
Lies.
Oh, I don't like a
I'm trying to think. I need someone that is respectful, I guess, like Gabby was saying. Because that's right, what you're saying. Like, if they respect you, then they're going to be okay with being true and honest and everything like that towards you. And then I also need someone who is going to understand me.
Oh, that's a big one.
Yeah, I mean, the social justice one is really, really up there for me, but the second one, like, I need you to understand where I'm coming from sometimes. Like, with how I I'm a very emotional person. And stuff like that. So I need someone who's going to be very understanding of that.
Tuesday's just nodding her head. Yeah.
Like
Emotional, yes.
I am so emotional about everything. Like I'm clingy and blah 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 blah. But that brings me to my next thing.
Okay.
How do you guys feel about those photos that you see on Facebook and it's like relationship goals and it has like someone texting someone 30 million times and it says baby 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 with 1,000,000 hearts and like all this crazy stuff.
That's a negative.
Like,
don't
what
get
about
on my
that
nerves.
one? Hold on. What about that one where it
No.
says, hold on, it says, baby, my stomach hurts. And so the person says, let me talk to your stomach. And then, so she says, okay, here's my stomach. And so then they say back, look, this is her daddy, Mr. Stomach. I need you to stop doing whatever to my baby.
What kind of nasty daddy dome stuff
I don't
is
know,
that?
but
That's
it's
not-
hilarious
What?
to me.
I'm so confused right now.
I hate those. I hate those so much.
I mean, there are some cute ones. There's one that you know how well I know me when I'm having my my bicycle ride. I just feel my mood shifts all the time. And this one that says, one relationship goal meme that says, the girl's like, I'm ugly. And the guy's like, I'm pregnant. And she's like, what? And the guy's like, I thought we were stating the impossible. I think that's sweet. And I think that's nice.
That's kind of cheesy,
Corny.
but cute. That's
corny.
I'm all about the
Very.
cheesy.
corny.
Wait,
I like corny too. I really like corny. Well, that's too corny for me, but I like the nerdy corny, I guess.
nerd corn.
Yeah, you
nerd
got to be
corny.
able to vibe with me.
Okay, so that made me think of a question. Since we're talking about social media and these relationship goals, what do you think about those couples that share a Facebook page?
But we're going to share a Facebook page, me and
Okay.
mine. We surely will. Let me tell you why.
My
Because I shall not. He can have his own Instagram page. No. We'll share Instagram.
Yeah, you
and
might
a
as well say on
Facebook.
Instagram.
And a Facebook because we got direct messaging on both, and I don't need none coming from mine.
But you should have that
Respect and trust. and
trust.
He can get on there anytime he wants.
I think most of the
I'm just
time
joking,
when
y'all.
somebody has that joint Facebook account, somebody's did something.
Right,
Somebody's
right,
cheated
right,
the
right.
trust.
Yeah.
Or the girl's just over obsessive.
Or he could be overly obsessive. Don't put
I
it
mean,
on
him
Yeah,
too.
That's
but
just
I'm
their
just saying-
stereotypes.
I'm just saying.
Oh, to me, no, that would never happen. Like, I mean, I can't. That's just ridiculous. If you don't trust me enough to be in a relationship with me and we can have our own freaking social media accounts.
I mean,
like,
why do
can
you
have
need your own though?
Like, no,
I'm
just
talking
saying,
about
like,
once you're married and everything, not when you're boyfriend, girlfriend, or even.
I mean,
fiancé.
why wouldn't you need your own?
I'm just
Why
wondering because
wouldn't you?
anything
Like,
I
I'm
get
my own
invited to, you're
person.
gonna come, and anything you get invited to, you're gonna come. We should all have the same friends by then. We're gonna be joined it together.
that's
My friends are your
crazy.
friends.
I'm sorry.
Not necessarily.
No, I'm
We
sorry.
have separate friends, but I'm talking about Facebook friends because your Facebook friends aren't really your friends.
No, not
I
necessarily.
think even if it was, it's like sometimes you just want your own thing. Because what if y'all have different interests? You like
Right.
memes. The other person don't like memes. They like watching
I don't-
videos on Facebook.
Right.
Like, it's,
And I
I
feel
don't know,
like
it
that's
just
just
seems like
way
it's
too
too
much.
much.
It's
Well,
just
I
too
don't really
much.
get on social media for me. I'm
Right,
not.
you don't even get on
I don't
Facebook.
even
Why
get
you
on
gotta-
social media. But if I decided to get on there, and I see that because we share the same, I'm gonna see what's happening. A monthly checkup, and if he just insists,
Again, trust issues.
and if he
trust
just
issues.
no, I feel like okay. Well, if y'all don't like that idea, he can have his own Facebook page and Instagram, but I'm gonna need those passwords.
No, I think that people who do that, no offense to you if you did want to do that, but like I know passwords. Like I know passwords and I know phone locks and I know like I know all of that, but I feel like I don't need it. Like if I'm in a relationship with you, why should I have to check up on you and why should I have to, like I said, if it's a trust thing and like I trust you, so even though I got your password and even though I got your lock code, I'm not going to go through your phone and I'm not going to read like intimate texts that you have between you and your friends. If you're talking about me, then so be it. You know, you can't talk to me about everything. Sometimes you have to, because what you're talking about could be talking about me. And sometimes you got to get your outlet on other places, you know.
Oh, you know something I want to bring up?
What?
You know, a lot of times in those Ankh memes, they be having stuff like a woman should do this, and that. And they never say, like, what the man should do. Or when they show the woman, she's, like, holding the man up. Support your man.
Right.
Be there for your man. Do this and that for your man. But they never, like, say what the man should do. And did you see that it was like a parody of those. And it was like a real woman would sell her legs, eyeball, and arm for her husband to get a new car.
I've never seen that one. But for me, those memes, I ain't got time for that. Because if I'm willing to do something for you, you better be willing. My man better be down for me.
With the relationship goals again, I want to bring up how come, because I don't know about y'all's feed, but I do follow some relationship goal pages on Facebook because I'm lame and corny. But I didn't realize that so many of those relationship goals are just like high school aged white kids, like just wearing the most basic thing in the entire world, and people are like relationship goals,
right?
Or like these two people are like literally holding hands, and someone says relationship goals, or like that one picture of that white guy.
Some people just want to be around somebody.
Hold on, no. There's a picture of a white guy, and he's in a suit, okay, and he's with a white woman, and she has heels on, and someone's like relationship goals. Like, how do you even know what their relationship is about? You don't, right? You don't. Like, what kind of image are you building for your relationship if all
just external image? What?
I have one more question. Do you know? Since we're talking about love, we're talking about relationships and the relationship goals. Why are we so obsessed as a society of like falling in love and being married? Like, I seen you liked an article, Gabby, on Facebook of how being married isn't an accomplishment. Like, we should be, because women...
Is or isn't?
It isn't. Because women, we're based on, are we marryable? Like, are we... That's not a real word, but are we...
marriage
Are you the marrying type?
Yeah, are we the marriage type? Like, why are we so obsessed with being marriage ready? Like, how come I can't just be educated and wonderful and you'd be like, okay, well, I'm going to marry her or something like that? Like, I just don't feel like... Like, we put too much emphasis on marriage and being in love and stuff like that. But that's what I think. I don't know about y'all.
But Tuesday.
Because y'all just staring at us.
I personally would love to be married. And
Boom.
it's all because I would feel like that I've been with this person that long that I'm ready to be with this person the rest of my life. Because I'm the type of person that's going to be with them for like 6 years before we even try to do anything else. Because
y'all not going to be married 2 weeks. Be in a relationship 2 weeks and then decide to get married.
I know this guy who's, they've been in a relationship for like 3 months and they're already engaged and pregnant. So
I know a couple who's lasted like 15, 16 years and they got married at 6 months from when they met.
Oh my God.
Now they've been down there through it, but
they done been through it. Yeah. They have.
Are they young or old?
They were mid-age when they got.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe
they were grown.
Yeah.
But
I'm talking about.
That's not desperate.
Kids our age.
I'm talking about now. I'm talking about like
at 20 something.
Yeah. Well, like, why are us women or a lot of women so obsessed with being married with like these extravagant weddings and?
But that's kind of.
I don't think that's
we're trained. We're trained. That's kind of what we're trained to be.
There's something wrong with it. I just want to know like why.
Like, if you look at just fairy tales or whatever, the ending is always that the lady get married to the prince and they lived happily ever after. And you have toys where you can dress up the little lady, the princess, so she can marry her little prince or whatever. They emphasize that on us. And especially like when you become teenage age. because then it's about you have to be pure for your husband. You have
Many people
you're gonna
that's
get
thrown out the window for many people.
basically.
you have
If
to
you're
live a
not
clean
pure,
life for your husband. You have to be respectful for your husband. And you're like 16. They're already talking about this. But for guys,
16, they was talking about that at like 8.
It was like 12 where I live.
Right. Whenever
They were
I was regardless, whenever I was a kid, I remember. Me and my cousin Kayla, we were sitting in the back seat of a truck. We were going down the street, or not in the back seat. We were sitting in the trunk, like the bed of the truck, and me and her were talking about. We were probably like 7 or 8 years old, and we were talking about how when we get older, we're gonna marry us a rich man, and
Goals.
that's what we were doing. Like we were goalsing that as like 7 years old. We were like, we want to marry a rich man, and he's gonna have a job, and we're gonna stay at home, and blah 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 blah. Like just playing into all these stereotypes, and like
that's what I'm saying. How many 7-year-old boys are talking about? Ooh, I can't wait to get married. When I get married, I'm gonna have a big wedding.
My cousin, I'm about to say my cousins do that. They're 10 and 8. They be like, when I get married, I'm gonna have me a fine woman.
Well, they talk like
big
that.
old truck.
They be like,
I want to go mudding every day when I get older. That's what I've
but
heard.
it's on their minds that they're gonna get married.
But no, it's more about guys. Just like, yeah, I'm finna have a wife or whatever. I can't wait because she's gonna be pretty and fine. It's not about like I can't wait to have a wedding. I can't wait to see how my dress is. I can't wait. But
they know in order to get that wife, they're gonna have to get married.
But they really don't think about that. They just know that when you get married, you have a pretty little lady.
And yeah, it's kind of like
that's what it
sexualizing
is.
them at a young age. Maybe not sexualizing them, but like kind of hyper, because as men, they over sexualize women like all the time, like constantly. And so then like even little children are thinking about like, oh, I'm gonna have me a fine woman and like with a big old butt. Yeah, like what? Like you're 7 years old. Sit down.
And if a girl was talking like that, we'd say she'd being fast.
Yes, we sure would. Like
we'll have to get into that in our feminism part 2 episode coming soon. But yeah, it's.
I want it. I want to be married. I want.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Because I want to be married too, and I still feel the same way about it. Like I feel like.
But I think that's an earlier version of it. I don't think today. I mean, of course, it's still that stereotype that's going to be here for a while. But I don't think it's as serious as it was back then. Because take a poll.
Women have more rights now.
Not even that, but take a poll. More women are not virgins. I mean, you know what I mean? You don't have to be pure anymore
to get married.
You know what I mean?
I guess.
I just think it's an older version of.
I mean, but still, they preach it like if you're in the church.
Yeah.
I mean, probably if you're not grown up in the church or whatever, it's not that emphasized. But if you're in the church, it's still emphasized. Whether it's enforced is another thing.
And it still shames people. Like it's so shameful to me, at least.
Yeah. I think like if you've had sex with more than like 3 people by the time you're 19, you're basically they slut shame you. And it's horrible.
If you're a woman,
because they haven't.
If you're a woman.
If you're a man, you can do it as many times as you want
before you get married, and they're like, okay,
it's crazy.
Cool.
You got it out your system.
I'll never understand that because, first of all, they want you to be heterosexual, right? So if you're a guy, you got to be doing it with a girl.
You got to.
So if you're doing it a gazillion times, you're doing it with some girl. Yeah. And you don't want the girl to do it, so how's the dude gonna do it?
But here's my logic.
But you want the dude to do it.
Yeah,
I'm confused.
That doesn't make any sense. And the logic is like a man can do it a million times with multiple different girls. But okay, so like women, if they have sex with one man multiple different times, that's okay. But if they have sex with multiple men, one time per man, the same amount of times as they would have sex with the same man, then that's wrong. Like how? What's the logic in that?
I think. Let me tell you where the logic. STDs. Let me tell you where the logic is. Because not from me, not from my mouth, but from the people that I hang around, and it's mostly from what I've heard. And when I heard it, I was just like, "What? What do you mean?" But somebody told me that a girl can get pregnant, which is why she has to be more careful, be more cautious. I said, well, it takes 2 to get pregnant.
Right.
And they were like, well, no, the woman's going to be stuck with it if he doesn't do what he's supposed to. I was like, well, that brings the question, how are we raising our young men?
Exactly. We're raising them just to be carefree.
And they didn't want to hear that.
Right,
they were
right.
like, well, yes, I agree with that. But at the same time, it's going to be in her stomach. She's going to have to carry it for 9 months. And if she doesn't, she's going to have to be the one who carries the weight of the abortion if it happens. And it's all about the woman and what she can or cannot do or should not do.
I know we're going off topic, but can we just talk about these dudes? Because I've been seeing on Facebook now these men's rights activists or whatever, and they're over here protesting child support. I shouldn't have to pay child support. They garnishing my checks. This ain't right. I want to see my child.
No, I agree. Let me tell you why I agree. They shouldn't have to pay child support because they should be already taking care of their child.
Oh, but yeah. But that's the thing. You're not taking care of your child, which is why you have to pay child support. If you had custody of your child, if you were taking care of your child, the woman would have to run over there for the government to help her out to pay for your own child.
They wouldn't garnish your wages if you paid and helped out your child.
Exactly.
That you produced. That's the only way to get some
like, because man.
But here's the thing, like that does happen. But then our dad,
we always go off topic.
We are always on topic. My dad, he is actually on child support like the entire time. Like he didn't pay a lot, but I mean he paid enough, like a lot out of his checks. Like especially if you're working a minimum wage job, and he helped us out outside of the child support. So let's say for instance, like he paid my mom for us 3 kids, like $300, $400 a month. He would also, anytime my mom would message him and say, hey, I've got to go do this and this for the kids, can you pay half? He would always do that.
Yeah, that's good.
That's good.
Yeah, that's great. Like, there are men who are actually out there doing that.
Yeah. See, that wasn't my dad. When I needed a ride to tennis practice, he wasn't there.
My dad was great. He helped me get home from Texas one time whenever I got lost. Not really lost, but got kicked out of I got stranded.
Yeah, my dad was not there.
He helped me out, but
that's why that stuff just irks me. And then you see people, and it's crazy how we
make excuses.
You can have people, deadbeat dads in your own family, and nobody will say anything.
But if you have a deadbeat mama,
the mama ain't taking care of the child or whatever, she going out or whatever, she ain't gonna be allowed to nothing. They gonna talk to her like a dog. This dude can be a deadbeat dad.
Let me tell you something. My family is cray cray. My great grandmama, rest her soul. Both of the parents were deadbeat, right? I don't know who they were, but I don't know the full backstory, but I do know this. Both of the parents wasn't there for their kids, and my great grandmother basically had to raise a child. I know she cut the woman out the pictures.
Petty.
She cut that woman out of every picture in every picture.
So
but the man there though.
He's still there?
He's still there. And when you look at the pictures and say, oh, what? Who is this? What?
Kind of Tyler Perry.
I'm telling you. Like, I was just like, oh, my God. And now maybe that might not be the story and it might be something else.
Yeah.
But that's what I heard. That's one of the rumors floating around. But all I know is that.
Family rumors.
But all I know is that she cut the lady head out of every picture in every photo album. And she's got a bunch.
You can have people that's like deacons and pastors and stuff in your church that don't take care of their kids, but have a woman over here who has the audacity to go to the club every once in a while and have a drink and leave her children with the grandmama. Oh my! I can't believe that. How dare you? They'll be all on Facebook talking about her. It's just so crazy. And I don't know how we got onto this, but if you are if you have a parent that is a deadbeat, you don't have to stay in that relationship. When you get older, just cut
and if you're listening, and if you're a mother or a father, and you know you're not doing what you're supposed to do, take a breath and get on your job, because you produce those children. Okay, they didn't ask to be here.
Not at all.
Just like you didn't ask to be here, and you made the decision to have sex, and that means you have to take the responsibility, even if it is finding a better home for your child.
Exactly. But yeah,
or releasing it into the wild. But
with the wildebeest,
right? Yes, just give it to a tiger.
Here you go.
And afraid.
But yeah, that's been our relationships episode and our child support episode. But we hope you enjoyed it. If you have any more comments, if you have any other things you would like to add to it, make sure you hit us up. Our SoundCloud is soundcloud.com/talkitout. You know, we're always responding to comments, and we love talking on there. Also, our Facebook is facebook.com/talkitoutpodcast. Our Yahoo is talkitoutpodcast@yahoo.com. And hit us up on Instagram at instagram.com/talkitoutpodcast. We love to hear your comments. And if you have any ideas on any new topics for our show, make sure you hit us up so we can get to it. Thank you, everybody, for all the love and support. We can't believe it.
We can't believe what?
We can't believe all the support we've had because we've only had 9 episodes out, and we got over 1,000 views, and everybody's sharing it. And thank you.
We appreciate it.
So about the Audible though.
Yes. Let me tell y'all something. Audible.com is no joke. Now I know we support it, we rep it, whatever, but it's literally no joke. When you got kids and you want to get them little kids to sleep at night, those children books, I swear, we have to finish a new one almost every other night because they fall asleep. And that means you can start again until they fall asleep. Right. That is just great. Anyway, go get that 30-day trial, y'all.
audibletrial.com/talkitout. Also, stay tuned because we have a giveaway coming very, very, very soon. You don't want to miss it. Shout out Phil Tate for being on the last episode with us.
Ooh, yeah. Hope y'all enjoyed that one.
I hope y'all enjoyed that one. He really was very entertaining,
and a pleasure to have.
A very good discussion. Also, we got some issues again. The John Effect podcast again. BFFs you never had. Conversation con artists.
Then also the Wind Down. This is KT.
Tuesday.
Joy.
And Gabby.
And this is Talk It Out.
Talk It Out.